J.D. Hughes is a drummer based in Charlottetown, PEI, and a lover of pre-1968 country music. We talked about record labels, what it's like to discover your music, using what you have to make the art that you need to make, and how he taught himself to play drums with Elvis Costello, Joe Jackson, and Blondie Records.
You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire and build it high, and watch it burn, then let it die.
Hi, JD. Thank you for doing this with me today.
Hello. How are you today?
I am doing great. Besides our conversation about Saturday grocery stores,
Yeah.
I am well.
Glad to hear it.
It's done. I don't have to go back there, so
There you
we're
go.
good. I wanted to talk to you because not only do I love your drumming and playing in bands with you, you also have always had some great stories about playing music. And so I'm also curious about how you got started and where your music inspiration came from and what kind of stuff you like. So you grew up in the States, yeah? You grew up in New England?
Yeah, we were. I was born in Boston, and then I was born in Boston, and then I moved. Both my parents are from the Maritimes. My dad's from PEI. My mom's from Gagetown, and they met down there at a country western Maritimers dance or something like that. So they went at it, and then my brother and I, and then we moved to Toronto. Then we moved back, and through the whole they got split up or whatever. And then my mom was a big fan of like the Byrds and that kind of era of stuff, Flying Burrito Brothers, and my dad was like a big Dolly Parton, Porter Wagner kind of fan. So I grew up kind of listening to like Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire, Carroll County Accident record by Porter Wagner, and like Mr. Tambourine Man are like the three records I remember. I could still sing every word to every song. And
this makes a lot of sense, knowing the type of music that you like to play these days.
yeah, it does, right? It's funny. It's funny you go back to like, you're always like, oh, this kind of music, I don't like this, blah, 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 blah. And then you always end up going back to it, basically, your parents' music. But
yeah.
Luckily, I don't have to go back to my parents, but yeah, so, and I just always, I've never, it sounds weird, I guess, but I never wanted to be anything other than a drummer. I don't know why, like, I don't know what caught me, but I know I used to do the thing all kids do of banging on pots and pans, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to basically be a backup singer or a drummer. I always wanted to be a drummer. I wanted to be in the Everly Brothers. And I was told that could not happen. My dreams were crushed, and yet I persist. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. But then finally, and I used to tell people I'm a drummer. Like, I had never picked up a set of sticks. I'd never done anything, right?
Yeah.
And my older brother ended up getting me someone at school gave me a pair of drumsticks, and I would just beat on everything. And like, I would basically play like a lazy boy chair, and this arm was the hi-hat and this arm was the ride cymbal. And I'd go, you know what I mean? So I taught myself how to play. And then I discovered the first Elvis Costello record, and like changed my life. Like, I was like, what's going on here? Like, it was a music, it was almost like it was my music, like, in a way, you know what I mean? Like, you had your parents' music. Like, my mom was super into the Beatles as well. So I had like the Hey Jude record so the first record I ever played with and went, oh, I am actually a drummer, was the Ballad of John and Yoko. So for years I was like, oh, Ringo, Ringo, Ringo. And then I don't know when it came out, maybe in the late 80s, there's like a complete Beatles session book. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, I have.
And you finally realize that it's Paul playing drums on that. And I was just like, I was literally like shattered. I sat in the woods and I was just like, I played drums because of Paul McCartney. Oh my God. I was like so horrified. And I realized maybe 20 years ago that if you really want to play the Ballad of John and Yoko correctly and get that groove, you have to play your opposite hands. And it totally works. If I play it like this, it sounds exactly like it. It's really crazy. So, yeah. And then I just I left school very young I left home when I was like 14 and a half, I guess.
Mm.
I just took off. I went to my stepmother was, I guess now she'd be called abusive, but she did like me. I didn't like her, so I didn't care about, but I don't care about that kind of stuff. And so I just went to a party and never went back. And not that they looked, they didn't come looking. So it was pretty good.
Wow.
And I started playing like Bakersfield country western music at like VFW halls and stuff for people. People would, oh, you're a drummer. Can you play this? And I'm like, yep, 100%.
Drummers and bassists, you'll always have a job.
Exactly, you do.
Yep.
You always have a job. And I could play that shuffle, that Bakersfield Ray Price kind of shuffle. So I got to play all the time. So I didn't go to school. I'd scoop ice cream at night or play like at the VFW hall and drink wine during the day. Good times.
How'd you end up in New York City?
Well, I was playing in a band who are still around today, called the Queers out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And I got fired for I was kind of like, I didn't really live anywhere. Like I had like my stuff in like a hayloft. I lived in I was kind of like a bum. And I got fired from that. And this other guy asked me to join his group. And I said, oh, sure, that'd be great. Like didn't have a band. And I went to a party. He invited me to a Christmas party. And to meet the other guys in the band, I was there for about 45 minutes and I went upstairs and he was dead in the bathtub.
Oh my God.
He overdosed. So I was kind of freaked out a little bit. I went downstairs and called my friend Alex, who lived in New York City. And I basically said, I don't know what to do. And he said, just come here. So I got up the next day and
got on a bus.
I had $40 and a pair of hi-hat cymbals in a knapsack. and I went to New York the next day and I never went back. I was there for 30 years. Yeah. And it was funny because I think the first or second day I was there, my friend was a bike messenger and he said, why don't you come in? Maybe they might need someone to get a job right off the bat. And I was waiting for him in the downstairs. There was a bar downstairs called the Great Jones Cafe. And I was sitting there and he's like, okay, I'll be there. And I literally went in, sat down, ordered a coffee. And a guy came over to me and said, are you the drummer in the Queers? And I said, no, I got fired. And he goes, oh, he's like, can you play this weekend? And I was like, yep. So it's like, because I would just say yes to everything, right? I played a lot of weird kind of jazzy stuff and like blues. I was never really a huge blues fan, I have to say. Like now I'm kind of getting into it, which is weird, kind of old. Like, yeah. So I just instantly
maybe
started
now
playing.
You understand the blues more than you
Yeah, I do because I'm an old African American man now. I just am like, it's just like I'm just so over like. Well, there's a lot of there's some modern music I actually quite like. And it's fun to play. Like I get to play with Don and Laura sometimes, and they always have these songs that are like very modern, like out now, like hits,
like
right?
The new pop stuff.
Yeah, they love that stuff, and some of it's really good, but there's nothing to it. It's all four on the floor. You're just and it's like I was listening last night. I was practicing, and I was listening to I forget who it is. It was Chapel Roan or Sabrina Carpenter, one of them, and the drum part is just like it's just like basically a doo-wop song.
Right.
So it's fun in that way, right? But then I just listened to Louis Jordan and Timpani 5 for like 5 hours and play drums, ting 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 ting, and I was like, yeah, but it's so fun.
Yeah,
because people don't move anymore, and it's like that's why I hate all that digital stuff everyone's doing now. Because you need air. Air needs to move people and get them to dance.
Would you prefer have people moving in an audience then while you're playing? I guess it depends on what you're playing.
It depends on what you're playing, yeah. Like I like a good two-stepping crowd. I do like when people get moving. There's just something about it, there's like there's no sad dancing.
No.
Except for the Charlie Brown kid who goes, ugh, just walks in the same place. He's my favorite, but like that kind of stuff is like, it's like, so yeah, you go see these bands now, and I was at Hunter's last night, and there's a trio up there. They're playing some fun stuff. People are just sitting there. Like, they just don't care anymore. Like, people don't care about music anymore, right?
Why do you think playing music is so important to you?
For me, well, it's the only thing I ever wanted to do, and it's the only thing I'm sort of good at. I still practice all the time. Like I still go and I just put like one of the great things about technology is like you have, what's there like 40, 50,000 songs on like my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I just go up and I'll just go up and hit shuffle and just force myself to play along with anything that comes up, even if it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, I didn't know if you knew this, but there's a great like Ray Price shuffle beat that goes great with Masters of War by Bob Dylan. Like,
I did not
so
know
I just
that.
kind of like, and I don't know, there's just something about it. It's like, I feel like if I don't get to play, I get very,
Maybe you don't feel like yourself.
I don't feel like myself. I get really like manic and I'm like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I get like angry easier. You know what I mean? Like you
I
were saying
do,
today, like
yeah.
frustration with other people. And I'm like, calm down. It's okay. Not everyone knows how to drive in a roundabout. But
Well, yeah, and that energy that I was feeling today at the grocery store, like that, I have to deal with that right now because I'm not regularly playing music.
exactly.
But
See,
when I regularly
exactly.
played music, I was much more calm.
Yeah, there's just some. I mean, music that's what it's made for. It's like soothes the savage beast, right?
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like when I was back in New York in the olden days, like I'd be playing a set and then go work in the door. So I'd be like taking money from people and like throwing people out of the bar, like punching people in the throat, and then up there going tiny bubbles or playing whatever like was.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Tiny Bubbles? You know that song?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. It came on the thing last night.
Okay.
Came on the shuffle last night.
I'll have to look
I think
it
it's
up.
Don Ho. Yeah, it's worth the listen. I got all the old Frank Sinatra swing records, like with the Nelson Riddle Orchestra. And Count Basie. I got all that stuff on my phone. It's like it's just the greatest stuff. Did you ever hear Sinatra at the Sands?
No.
You put that record on, man, and it's like it's the best live record ever. I don't care what anyone says. And it's just like the band is killing it. Sinatra's like he's cracking jokes. And it's just, you can't be bummed out. It's just fantastic. But I would imagine no one was allowed to dance. No one's allowed to get up. Probably those
Right.
booths in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like for me personally, like I just love playing drums so much. It's just the only thing I really like to do. And I love to like play, like I did a gig with Liam a couple weeks ago, Liam Corcoran, and just like I always want to rehearse. Like a lot of people don't like to rehearse all the time. I just love to rehearse because I want to get like, oh, this guy plays rhythm this way, and this guy plays rhythm this way, and that's what it's all about, right? Like the push pull of the rhythm of the drummer and the guy. I don't usually follow bass players unless they're like pretty spectacular because I guess I was always like a Stones guy, so I always go by the guitar player and this. I listen to the words and the guitar. I don't care about anything else. Not that I don't care, but because there's just like collaboration between musicians and going back and forth. That's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
The roll in rock and roll, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
It is strange though, because you used to play quite a bit.
Yeah. Like there was a good 10 years there for sure. Longer, probably closer to 15, where I was playing, like either rehearsing or playing a few times every week.
Yeah.
And there was a good while there that I was playing babas like 6 times a month or something like that.
Oh,
either
see?
solo or with different bands or whatever.
Yeah. But original stuff, not like covers.
All
Covers
original,
here and there. Yeah. Everyone, it's all covers now, which is really, I find a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
It's just because, and everyone's like, oh, it's just, it's just a cycle. Everything goes through the cycle. I'm like, yeah, but it's been 10 years since I moved to PEI, it's the tribute / and I get it that puts the old timers in the seats and during the summertime, especially in a place based on summers. I do get it, but I'm so sick of it. I'm just so tired of it. That being said, come see me Thursday at the Trailside. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's like we used to play like in New York in the old days. Like literally, I'd be walking down the street and someone would go, "Are you Doggy?" And I go, "Yeah." And they're like, "Can you play tonight?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh." And I'd walk across the street and we'd go to their apartment and they'd give me a cassette. I put it in my little Walkman. I'd walk around all day, listen to it, and then go play it that night. Right? It was just that because I didn't know that's not how it's supposed to work. But I'm like, no, that is how it's supposed to work. It is supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it is supposed
Yeah.
to be like that. And it was kind of like that whenever I was getting started, and everyone was just kind of like, you play that?" Or they'd see you somewhere and be
exactly.
like, "Hey, can you play
Yeah,
this weekend or next
exactly.
month or whatever?"
And you'd say yes
Yeah.
because it's all you care about and it's
Oh,
all you
yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
Like people call me now, like Whitney will message me and say, "Is there any chance you're available for like December 16th?" I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah.
I don't care what it is because she's great. I don't care what it is. I prefer to play like original stuff, obviously, and I get to do that here with a couple people. But I'll play anything. I don't care.
Well, when you're playing with the right people, it's different. Like
Yes.
when I
yes,
saw
yes.
that Katie McGarry had put together that Miranda Lambert tribute a few
Yeah.
years ago, and I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
who the lineup was, who else was playing in the band,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not a fan of hers, but can I be in that band?
Yeah, exactly.
please?
I know, right? That was
I don't
super
care
fun.
what we do.
It was
I
super
just want to
fun.
be with you guys.
Yeah. And how long have you known Nudie?
Since shortly after he moved here.
Oh yeah. Because I've known him since I had met him, I think, previously before I moved up here, but so I've known him for almost 10 years. We met pretty quick after I got here. I had no idea he played the bass. And then he puts on a bass and he's like, "Does it go like this?" Do, 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 do. And he's like, fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like, "You little bat." I was like, "Oh, you pulling out the tricks." It's like me, I want to pull out a harmonica and go, "Wah," but I can't play harmonica, so it would be ridiculous.
I attempted harmonica for a few shows.
Yeah. It's like you kind of realize like people that can play harmonica, that's a whole other thing. But it's like people that can play drums, like people that can play, I watch some people play guitar and I'm like, that's, the real deal. Like some people you watch them play and it's like, this guy was born, like they look like Richard. Do you know a guy named Richard Fortas?
Oh, that's familiar, but I don't know.
He used to play in a New York band called Honky Toast. They were fantastic. And him and the drummer Frank, who's amazing, went on to play in a little band called Guns N' Roses.
I've heard of them.
Frank was in Guns N' Roses for like 19 years, and Fortas still plays with them. But he's one of those guys, he puts on the guitar and it's like, it's just part of him. It's like, he doesn't think about anything. Every lick is like, there's no bum notes. Every lick is just like, so perfect. It's.
That reminds me of James Phillips a little bit.
Yeah.
He has a bit of that going on.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like an extension of his soul or something.
Yes, very much. And I consider myself very, very lucky because if I decide to put something together here, I message James first, and he's never said no.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's because we like to play together or he's just one of those guys who says yes to everything. I flatter myself by thinking he just likes to play with me, but that's probably not the case.
I expect that
he's
more in demand,
Yeah.
and he would have to say no to things. But
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. But
it is strange, like you say. Like we used to play like. I mean, we'd play Chennai and then we'd play, play all these different bars. And it was like, yeah, you play, that's all I did for like 2 or 3 years, which is not a long time, but in New York, that's all I did. I didn't have a job. I just played drums, which was amazing. And there's none of this thing of like, we've talked about this before. Like I call someone and say, "Hey, is there any way you can, would you like to play a show on the 18th?" And they're like, "What's the money?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Because if that's your first question, I'm not playing with you. You're not on the gig. Ask me what the music is, then you can ask me what the money can be your second question, but it's better not be your first one. Or I'm not playing with you. I don't care."
You're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or people are like, "Oh, I want to do this thing, but I have to get the funding first." No, you don't. Do it. Like the technology exists to do, if you want to make a movie, make a movie. The technology exists. If you want to make a record, make a record.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do find that a lot of these, the ability of people to sit in a room and make their own record now, like solo record, it kind of, you lose something, you lose that collaborative thing because it's like, this is what I would do on the bass, this is what I would do on guitar. But it's like, yeah, but you need a band. Like I always wanted to be in a band,
Were you ever in a band that had that was attached to a label and had, somebody telling you guys what to wear? And
oh, absolutely. I was in a great band and we had a manager and we, did the whole showcase thing, all these showcases, and we're in got a feature in Billboard and we went with all these publishers and stuff. And it was the era of they they only sign like one person in a band, right? Usually the songwriter, like everyone's not signed. So the band I was in, it was a very rare occurrence where they signed everyone, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, sure.
But it was also the era where as soon as you like your first day in the studio, the producer will say that drummer can't play. You got to get someone else, right? They did it to Ringo, right? So it's like, so they did it to me, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I've tried to play this song twice. So obviously you're just trying to make it like you're the boss. Okay, so call someone else in. Call someone else in to play and see what happens, right? And it was like garbage. The guy's like a junkie, like the whole thing, but he was his friend. It's just that whole thing. So yeah, the label thing, but then I remember, so I ended up getting pissed off about something else, and I was like, okay, I got an idea. Why don't you go fuck yourself? I quit unceremoniously, probably, and stupidly too. I should have just, it's like I should have sat there, watched the guy play, and tried to learn something, like I do when I go to gigs here. Like I'll see bands that suck, but if I nice, I'll see bands that aren't my type of music, but I'll still watch a drummer because maybe he'll do. Gina Shock from the Go-Go's? So the Go-Go's, Gina Shock, she's their drummer. She's one of these drummers. And I was always kind of like, okay. And there's a video of her playing something. And I was like, the way she goes from like her hi-hat over to her ride cymbal is so smooth. And I was like, that is amazing. So even if they weren't a band I really liked at the time, you can learn something, right? So I should have just sat there, but I didn't. I left. And then one of the guys calls me up and he's like, hey, can we talk? And I was like, sure. We went and got coffee. And basically as soon as I left, all the money got cut by a half.
Huh.
So or not by a half, by like a fifth or whatever it was, four or five. I think it was 4. But, so they were like, well, that's not the band we signed. So So, it took them like 3 or 4 years to make the record. And it did nothing, of course, because, there's something about the chemistry of a band. You see people doing. Yesterday I was watching. This is how boring my life is right now. I was watching Bill and Ted's Adventures or whatever it's called, Screen Test, and you're like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. And then those two together, you go, oh, this is it. It does work. There is chemistry, right? So it's like you get in a band situation like I always loved Dan Curry. So it's like I come here, I'm like I kind of want to play A Night of Rolling Stones because we did it back in New York. And I'm like, not too many people here that I know of because I was new here. I don't know anyone who really has that grit. I'll see if Dan wants to do it. I was like, he'll never do it. I'm like, Dan, you wouldn't want to play any role. He's like, absolutely. And I'm like, all right, never mind. Because it's like me, Dan, James. It's just like I could just play with those two guys and be. I don't care if we ever do a gig. Like just get in the room and play, And it's difficult to find bass players. They're all so busy. So Nudies. I don't know what Nudies doing, but I love playing with him, but he just, he does his own thing and he doesn't need me, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but we did that. And then I was in another group that was Sire, which was a pretty funny. I don't know if you know anything about Sire Records. It's pretty funny. They're pretty funny. The owner of the label was literally told, you can't sign anyone anymore just because they'll have sex with you. So that's a nice tidbit of New York lore. Like literally they just said to him, he signed this one guy and is like super handsome, like could really sing, can really play. Record does nothing because it's not the music. If that records are funny because if that record comes out in 5 years, it might be the biggest record in the world. People just aren't ready for it or past it or whatever. But, and then I did another one where we were going to sign to Atlantic. A lot of bands in New York at the time were getting signed, and the MCA and Atlantic seemed to be sniffing around quite a bit. So we were going to do a thing with Atlantic. It just ended up falling through, and the band, fell apart. And then my old band, Los Dudes, I think was the second or third band on a label, which is now Republic, which is like everything in the world is Republic. We were like the second, third band. And I quit that band too. One of the guys, well, we all were very, very heavy drinker, rock and roll lifestyle. And I quit that band because one of the guys was just getting to be too much for me. And they did a big opening night record release showcase, and the guy did something weird on stage and cleared the room. And that was it. They sent them all the records. They're like, here's your records. You're done. You're off the label. Dropped, immediately. It's funny because they would sign you and you think you're going to get all this money, but you have to pay all that back, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then my friend John's band got signed to Rick Rubin's label, and then they got absorbed into something else, some weird kind of thing like that, American. And then, so they literally had a giant party. They rented out a place. They had a big party, record release party. And the girl that was their A&R person, I'm not even kidding, at the gig came up and told them they were dropped from the label. While they're, they just spent all this money, it's just insane. So they had the label thing, and I don't even know if labels, all of a sudden the producer became the label thing or whatever it is. Yeah. It's all of a sudden the A&R guys weren't really doing anything. It was just the producer comes in and says, well, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, we're going to change this. And it's just that's not what it's about. There's no art. There's just no art in it, which I find really frustrating. But the labels are just all they care about is money. And they go buy whatever you want. Okay. And just give me the money back later. The classic, hey, we're going to go to dinner. Don't worry, I'll get it. Yeah. This is on the label. And you're like, I'm the label. I have to pay for your beef salad or whatever people eat these days.
Coming out of her.
Yeah, it's crazy. But people don't know that.
Yeah.
They give you $1 million and you're like, woohoo. And I'm like, you owe them $1 million, brother.
Yeah.
It's weird. You guys had that label. What was the label here? The guy that put out all the
Lloyd Doyle Sandbar.
Yes, Sandbar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandbar. I don't know why I talk like this. But that was a I'd come up here and visit, and man, there were some bands around here at that time that were just so fun.
So good. Yeah, I know those were really great times. The Eyes for Telescopes days. And,
yeah. It was just there were so many great bands and so many. I remember Mike sending me a record. 45, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I gotta listen to this record from, these kids. And I put on, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And, but it's a small place like this, it must be different because, I think it was around the same time in New York where everyone was playing, everyone was getting signed. It was just the world felt so much more alive then. Now it's alive with horribleness. But back then it was just you could do anything. You could do anything. You could play any kind of music and you would find if you kept at your stuff, you'd find an audience. Now you have to find a way to make music. You're not making money touring, certainly, because no one goes to see live bands.
Yeah.
So unless you have a good t-shirt and a good logo, what else is there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's a frustrating time for music. I don't know what's going to happen. But because now they're AI and stuff, and it's just there's no collaboration. There's no because 7 people on a songwriting credit. It's those people weren't in the same room.
No,
maybe they were sometimes.
Maybe yeah,
but I don't think
probably
so.
A few of them were.
Yeah,
I think that real music. I don't know. I'm going to put air quotes around that. Is still happening. It's just not. We're not seeing it being replicated out there in the media. So
yes,
I feel like it's a cyclical thing. It's going back to people's houses. People are doing it for themselves again, or in small groups, and eventually those groups are going to get bigger, and hopefully we're going to have another more organic music scene happening again.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But it's funny because that is basically just people saying we never thought we were going to make a living as musicians. Really, you just kind of played because you love to play, right? I never once thought I'm going to make $1 million playing music.
But did you think that you were going to get famous though sometime with the band? Do you think you'd make it in a band? Tour the world.
I didn't want that. I didn't really. I can't picture.
Yeah.
Me. I can't sit at Baba's. If the lights are a certain way, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the it's. Someone said to me the other day they came to the Liam show at the Trailside, and their brother and his wife were there, and they said about me, "Is he pretending to be blind?" Because I have to wear sunglasses. I wear sunglasses on stage because the lights give me headaches.
Yeah.
Like the lights go at you.
Mhm.
So I was sitting there, and she showed me a picture, and I'm literally like, I'm in sunglasses. I have my drumsticks like by both ends like this because I was like stretching my hand, and I got my like head back a little bit, and I literally look like I'm pretending to be Ray Charles or something. I was just like, oh my God. I said, no, but you tell them from now on, I'm going to pretend to be blind. It's going to be my gimmick. But yeah, I don't love the crowds or anything like that. Like I don't talk to the crowd. Like
Yeah.
I get quite nervous, and I'm trying to prepare for like I'll talk to people after, but I don't try not to talk to people before because people paid, their hard-earned money to go see that, and I'm not going to be so blah, blah, blah. I want to be focused on and kind of prepared to play a show for them, right? It's like I'm not people coming to see your band now. It's like I think people don't realize what a huge thing that is, what a huge compliment that is, because no one has any money. Like a lot of people are just getting by, and for them to spend $20 or $25 to get in to see your group, that's like people really need to respect their audiences, and because it's like people now just go, oh yeah, well it's $50 to come see my band or whatever they're charging, right? Because everyone has to get paid. Yeah. It's like, okay, you better really give them something. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's someone coming to see whether it's a cover band or an original band. That's not something you should, as a musician or any type of performer, take lightly. That's a huge deal, absolutely huge deal, and no one seems to think that anymore. They're like, oh yeah. Someone said to me one time, in between sets at a Trailside gig, I said something about blah blah blah, and they said, oh well, it doesn't matter. We already have their money. And I knew right then I would never play with that person ever again. And I haven't, and I won't.
Yeah.
You're like disrespecting people that are like that might be the only time they get to go out in like a month, right?
Well, certainly, I mean, I don't go out much because I had to budget in order to pay my mortgage.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't go out to eat.
If you're lucky enough to have a mortgage, really, if you think about it, because people now can't, people are paying like thousands of dollars to rent something because there aren't any. They've let, these businesses or certain people like buy everything. So now, so someone paying $25 to come see you at the Trailside or wherever, that might be the only thing they get to do all month. Yeah. And it's like people need to think about that and play a good show, like rehearse and be ready. I find it troubling.
Yeah, but I will say that one of my least favorite things to do as a performer was to play in a band where there was no green room, or play in a venue where there's no green room. So you're setting up, you're sound checking in the same room where everybody is. Then you go to a table at the back, you hang out for an hour.
Yeah, hang out at the bar, right?
And then you walk through the crowd. Because I really wanted to focus too, and I didn't want to chat.
You want to be ready,
people.
you want to tune up. You know what I mean?
But you couldn't do that in certain venues.
Yeah, that's very true.
Luckily, there's a few around town that do have a room that you can hang out.
I like a little green room. Until you've kind of played places that have that, I think you don't really realize.
Totally.
Like you kind of do at a certain point, but me and Buck, they used to sit in the kitchen at Chennai and like do dishes and stuff like that because I didn't want to be in the crowd. It was too crowded. And it was such a little place, and there was you could kind of hide over by the piano, but you want to be ready and tune up and right? You want to be you want to be ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's like something about like they come in and say, on in 5 minutes. Yeah. And you're like, oh, killer. This is like real show business.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Is there anybody alive or dead that you wish you could or could have played with on stage? You can give me a couple.
I would love to have played with George Jones in like 1964, or like Ray Price in like the early 60s or like 50s, like that when they were just discovering that that Ray Price shuffle beat that gets everyone going, you know, that,
Yeah.
or like George, or I would love to have, I spent a day one time in a big rehearsal space in New York with Keith Richards and the Expensive Winos. My friend was the sound guy over there. So I got to go and just like basically not say anything and pretend that I was, worked there. And most of the time the band like was outside of the big room, just like throwing footballs down the hall and stuff like that. And Keith Richards was just in a room and you just hear, and all of a sudden it would be like, like he was basically just writing songs in there, like riffing.
Right.
And his guy Pierre would come out and go, Steve, and like Steve Jordan would go in, and they'd like, so it's like to get to play with someone like that, I think would be amazing. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Stones nerd, obviously, but Keith would be amazing to play with. Ray Price, George Jones, who else? I would have loved to have gotten to play with Justin Earl. You know Justin.
Yeah. Yep.
But I got to see him play a bunch of times. We hung out and we talked about music quite a bit. And he didn't need a drummer. Later on, he had a drummer. But I would have loved to have got to play with him some stuff because he was just so mercurial. He was so good, and he could have done anything. He got caught up in shit. But what are you gonna do? Nowadays, I don't really know. Not too many people. Elvis Costello is probably my favorite of all times, but I taught myself how to play drums listening to Elvis Costello records and Joe Jackson records and Blondie.
Mm-hmm.
But you always think, I want to play with this person, and then you meet them and they're such fucking assholes. And I was like, I would have punched you like right in the face. Like band dynamics. Who else? I'm trying to think of who else. I don't really know. You?
Oof. I mean,
You love Emmylou.
I do love Emmylou,
But
and I love Lucinda
yeah.
Williams. And, one thing I'd really like, sometimes I think of, actually, I haven't thought of this until today, but who would I sing backup with? Because my most favorite thing ever is to sing harmony vocals. And put me next to Lucinda Williams. I would love to sing with her. I've been listening to a lot of Nico Case lately.
Oh, yeah.
And her music is so interesting that I would love to sing, some stuff with her.
I saw her at, when I was living in Los Angeles, I saw her there was a bunch of, I had no money. I was like the poorest man at show business, like by far. But anyway, so Amoeba would have like free shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went down one time and saw like Charlie Louvin and Albert Lee. It's like a lot of cool people. So I went to see Nico Case and I left after one song. It was the worst, absolute worst gig I ever saw. Did I ever tell you this?
I think you did.
The worst show I ever saw. I was like, this person can't sing. This person can't play. The band was horrible. And then like, I was talking to someone and they were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then I saw her like 2 days later at some club, and it was like one of the best shows I ever saw. I was like, what is going on here? It was like maybe they had just warmed up, or just had, sometimes you're just like plonk, plonk. It's like you have a bad day. Because I saw him like, I think it was not even a week later, and it was like, I was like, I don't want to go see this again. My friend wanted to go. I was like, all right. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But her voice is interesting to me.
Yeah.
She does a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, it's different. And she's got really unique, like she puts songs together in different ways.
Yeah. Which I think you and Dennis told me one time we were doing something and some song came on and I was like, this is great. What's this? And Nico Case, you don't like her. And I was like, holy guacamole. Like,
sounds more like Dennis said that. I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah. you just look at, you're good at eye rolls, discerning looks.
Yes, I have certain looks.
That's funny you said it because I always thought if I couldn't play drums, because my hands are like really, I've had like lots of surgeries and stuff. And I always loved to just sing backups and play tambourine. I was like, that would be
it's the best
like Gene Clark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of stuff. Or like the guys that you watch, like George Jones or like Ray Price has a lot of them too. Like the old like 50s, 60s, like TV shows, black and white. And they're like, da, 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 and then some goofy looking country guy with like the weirdest wig you ever saw comes in and goes, and they do these amazing harmonies. Like, I want to do that. Because those close harmonies in country, like, because I hate to say this, but I only really listen to like pre-1968 country western music. I'm such a snob about it. I'm like, no, I don't care about that. I want to hear cross sticking and super close harmony, like Louvin Brothers, Everly Brothers, like that's. Well, I told you this before, but like to get to play with anyone, like the Everly Brothers would have been my
number one.
Number one. I think I was first or second grade, and the teacher went around. You had to introduce yourself. We had just moved to Toronto. Because I did 1 year of school in Massachusetts. Then we moved to Toronto for like 6 or 7 years, and we went back to Massachusetts, and I sat behind the same person I had sat behind because it was alphabetical. So the school was so small. I sat behind the same girl, and I was just like, it was like a part of your like 6 years of time had just been pulled away. It was so surreal. I was just like, I'm sitting behind Karen McBurney again. It was like so weird. But so anyway, I guess it was second grade, and the teacher was going around saying, introduce yourself, blah, 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 which I hate, of course. And she said, what do you want to do? What would you like to do when you grow up? And I said, I want to be in the Everly Brothers. She goes, you can't do that. And I was like, way to crush my dreams. I'm like 7. Like, what am I going to do now? The only thing I ever wanted to do, you just told me I can't do it. Like,
yeah. Wow.
Still trying.
Terrible.
Still trying, though. I'm still trying to get the that tom roll in Till I Kissed You. You know that one? Yeah, I'm still trying to get that.
Keep at it.
Oh, yeah. I'll dig those boys up in 2 seconds. Prop them up. Let's go. Phil and Don.
What's coming up for you in the next couple of months? Any nice shows happening?
No.
Nope.
No, I'm only kidding. I am doing, Pete Forbes?
Yeah.
So it's like this Thursday. So I don't know how quick your podcast gets out.
It's
but
not going to be open.
He does. Yeah, he does like a Neil Young thing, and and so I get to do that. I get to do that with him, which is super fun. We did it last year or 2 years ago at like Sportsman's, which I don't think is the correct venue for some stuff. I love Sportsman's, but some things, and there was like the band is. It's me, James, of course, because I was like, we got to get James. Anytime anyone does anything, I'm like, I got to ask James. That's what I want to play with. And Andrew McDonald, do you know him?
Yeah,
he's great, and he can sing harmonies too, which I didn't know. So it's me, Pete, James Phillips, Mike Montney. Do you know him?
Yeah,
he's a bass player.
Yep.
I love how I'm like, do you know him? You're like, what? You're like, we grew up together. Like, I know him since 4th grade. I do that all the time. Yeah, it's super fun. So we played the Sportsman's, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to be. We started playing, and it was just like, boom, it's fantastic. Not a soul, like 4 people in the whole joint. Yeah. It was great. But Trailside, I think it's a bit earlier. I think it'll be really fun. But the band's really good, like really good.
Yeah, yeah. I did that. We had a different band, but it was Pete put one on. Gosh, 8 or 9 years ago. Maybe,
we did
it at Sportsman's, and
I went to that. I had just moved here. I think I went to that. But he used to do a thing with various singers, right? Like have guests. Like exactly. So he doesn't do it like that now. I don't know why. The logistics of those things are quite complicated. Yeah. So it's difficult. So I don't have much going on right now. No one asked me. Ask me to play, I'll play. Putting that out there. But everyone here has their people, right? You don't need me. No one needs a 61-year-old drummer in Charlottetown.
Well, you just wait. You just wait till I'm got more songs.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'll play with you anytime. You know that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was great.
Thank you.
Thank you again for doing this.
I'll see you again. And thanks for having me. It's like, I don't imagine anyone wants to listen to me, but I like talking to you. So there you go.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Signing off.
It's nothing and everything. It's a gentle sigh and a scream into the void. It can leave you. It can be you if you let it. You don't know what to do and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire. let it die. It can make you cry. It can dry your eyes. It can be the one that keeps you warm inside, and it breaks your heart, then tells you where to start if you let it. You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire, then build it high. Watch it burn and let it die. It can make you stand up, make you fly. It's a lifetime. In the blink of an eye, it's obsession and objection to the status quo. You got a lot to do, and you got a lot to say. Just write it out, get it on the page. Find your crew, get mobilized, and maybe soon you'll realize that it's nothing and everything. It's a gentle sigh and a scream into the void. It can leave you, it can be you if you let it.